A state trooper already under criminal investigation for potential payroll fraud could face more scrutiny for more possible criminal violations.
Yeah, here's the latest state of unrest investigation. September 6th of this year, traffic tickets show Trooper Daryl Thomas wrote a citation at 10:45 in the morning.
Now, how is that possible?
The guy got a different...
Oh, my goodness.
Not possible because at the time Thomas says he wrote that ticket in St. Charles Parish, our undercover surveillance spotted his car about 40 minutes away at his Harvey home.
Wow, that's unbelievable.
The next day, September 7th, Thomas claims he wrote a ticket at 11:10 a.m., the same time our undercover surveillance unit recorded his car at his house. Fast forward to 11:45, Thomas still at home, but once again he claims he wrote another ticket.
What does this tell me? The first one wasn't a negligent mistake.
These findings had us digging deeper into Thomas's tickets. Daryl Thomas is the highest paid law enforcer in the state. He makes $240,000 a year. More than half of it comes by way of overtime. Much of that is earned through what's called the LACE program, a ticket writing detail that allows troopers to be paid by local parish district attorneys to work extra shifts to make extra money. Our months-long undercover surveillance investigation found Thomas may have falsified timesheets, claiming he worked full LACE overtime shifts, but instead spent much of that time at his house. Thomas can't be two places at the same time. Now, he is writing these tickets, but we figured out what he may be doing, falsifying the times on some of these tickets to justify his overtime.
I normally watch my speed.
James Flick helped us figure it out. Here's the ticket he received in St. Charles Parish in January of 2016. It just so happens that's one of a handful of days we requested all of Thomas's tickets from state police. According to the tickets state police sent us, Flick received the citations at 2000 hours, or 8 at night. The trooper indicates that he wrote the ticket at 8 at night.
No, it definitely wasn't 8 at night.
Flick says Thomas flagged him on his way home from work around 3 in the afternoon.
I know this definitely wasn't at nighttime. This was definitely during daytime. I've never gotten a ticket at nighttime.
So we requested dash camera video from state police, and it shows Flick receiving his ticket in daylight, not 8 at night. In fact, the timestamp shows the video started at 14:59 or 2:59 in the afternoon.
Wow. That is really amazing. I mean, that establishes to me that this was a preordained, thought-out plan to falsify the citation records for the purposes of obtaining compensation under the LACE program. There can be no other explanation when you separate the two out.
But there's more. Flick sent us the ticket he received from Thomas. The time, while not fully legible, is different. Most noticeable, the 2 found on the state police version that indicates 8 at night is missing from Flick's copy.
He separated out the original from the copy. That's the only way this could happen.
That January day, Thomas worked a 3 p.m. to 9 p.m. LACE shift. In addition to Flick's ticket, Thomas alleges he wrote citations at 4:47, 6:30, and 7:49. But that's impossible because according to his dash camera, he didn't write one ticket after 16:22 or 4:22. Here's dash camera video from the ticket Thomas says he wrote at 7:49. The timestamp 15:17 or 3:17 in the afternoon.
And it's just slam dunk evidence of his intent to deceive and to falsify. And in any criminal matter, intent is important. It seems to me this establishes his intent both to falsify, which is itself injuring a public record, that's a separate crime, but also to aid and abet him and support his efforts to engage in theft by submitting falsified timesheets for the LACE program.
According to dashcam timestamps, Thomas wrote 2 of those January 2016 tickets before 3 o'clock, before his LACE shift even started. The B on the ticket indicates it's a LACE ticket, but Thomas wrote them while on his regular state police shift. Can you work lace when you're working a regular shift too?
Absolutely not.
You can't write a lace ticket during a regular shift.
Absolutely not.
On November 25th of 2016, there's the B on another Thomas Lace ticket, the time 13:50 or 1:50 in the afternoon. But Thomas's lace shift didn't start for another hour and 10 minutes. Thomas's lace shift that day ended at 11 p.m. According to tickets, Thomas wrote 4 near the end of his shift, 20:30 or 8:30, and also around 8:40, 10:20, and 10:40. But dashcam video timestamps provided by state police show Thomas wrote his last ticket at 5:50, well before the times on those last 4 tickets. 4 more citations Thomas alleges to have written late into his lace shift. That dash camera video indicates he wrote much earlier.
Well, there's obviously a difference between writing down the wrong time and it's a mistake that you wrote down the wrong time. Now, if you're intentionally writing down the wrong time on citations, then that's of grave concern to us. The time that someone gets stopped and gets issued a citation for a violation, that's the time that needs to be on the document.
And if it's not?
It's a criminal offense.
One potential crime, injuring a public record.
Punishable by up to 1 year in prison and a fine for every time you do it.
We found 11 different instances of potentially falsified ticket times.
And I bet if you go back long enough, you'll find dozens and scores of these things.
We tried to find more. We looked closer at July 5th, 2016. Thomas worked a lace shift from 3 to 11 p.m. What seems strange, Thomas wrote tickets quickly, almost every 5 minutes. Look at the amount of time between each one, where he alleges he found a speeder, pulled over the car, wrote the ticket, and found another violator.
It's inconceivable to me that you could do 2 or 3 tickets in the space of 10 or 15 minutes.
A ticket every 5 minutes.
1 ticket, possible, but multiple tickets
For a full hour.
12 tickets in an hour, it's not physically possible. Unless you're standing there and you're just waving 6 cars over at a time.
Thomas alleges he wrote most of his tickets between 3 and 4, and then pulled over one more violator near the end of his shift at 9 p.m. We requested dash camera video from that day, but state police told us it wasn't working. The act of falsifying a ticket is a crime, but Tulane law professor Joel Friedman says that, combined with allegations of payroll fraud, could build a significant case for investigators.
1 could be a mistake, but this pattern can only be explained as an attempt to cover up and justify the falsification of the timesheets. This is part of a criminal enterprise by this trooper of engaging in theft.
Thomas and 3 other state troopers are under criminal investigation. We sent Thomas a letter asking him for a comment. He received it, but hasn't responded.
You really connected the dots with this one. I mean, it's pretty amazing when you think about the way you connected them. What about people who got tickets where he went back and falsified the time? Most of them don't even know it. But
no, they don't.
Do they have any grounds to protest those tickets?
Certainly if you haven't paid one yet, I would raise that question or talk to an attorney. But certainly if a ticket's falsified, it certainly raises a lot of questions about that and just other intentions of him as he's writing these tickets too.
Right.
Yeah, it's a mess.
All right.
All right.
The Saints